On this video, we're going to show you how to complete your processing forms so that you can submit them into the company, or into our company, so that you can get paid for the accounts that you've already done the research for, the searching of the database, and been approved on the claims that you have made. Now, if you have not received your processing forms yet, I suggest heading back over to claiming your, in step number 2. It will reverse, obviously. If you found accounts already and you have, you would like to get your processing forms, you need to verify that you have been approved on the accounts that you plan to process. Back in the following step, the previous step, sorry. But I'm assuming everybody has done that. If you haven't, obviously go back to step 2, submit your claim, get your submission forms. But for this video tutorial, I'm going to show you, I'm assuming everybody has them and you are completing the form. Now, this is how this process would happen. So I have an account that I want to process, or let's say you have an account you want to process. This one is the one that I got approved for. And I have made the claim and got approved on this account. This account number 7503310 for $439.72. Remember, we get paid 10% guaranteed once we database this now, which is at the step that you're at right now. So you would be paid for doing what I'm about to show you on this video for $43.98, which would be 10% of this total amount. Okay, so everything that, like I mentioned before in other videos, everything you're going to need to complete your submission form now that you have it is found in the database. So this is what the form currently looks like right now. I don't know in the future if it is a different form that the office staff here want you to be completing, but this is the one that we're going to go forward and through on right now. So basically all you're doing in the first part is just put in your full name, putting in your email address in section number 2. Section 3 requires your email address. And there's simple blocks that you would actually just type in your name. Now we get to the part where you need the account information from the claimed form, or the claimed account that you already have been approved for, is the account holder's name. Okay, so let's go back here. Where would we find the account holder's name? It's right there. So I would type in or copy and paste account holder's name, Barbara Brooks, into that section. Section 5 requires the account holder's last known address, if applicable. Okay, so we go in here and we have the address. We have the street address. For this account particular, I'll show you what happens if there is no address available. The city, the state, the zip code, and you would put that information into there. The outstanding balance, which again found on our account, was $439.72. You would copy and paste that or type into section 6 where it says outstanding balance. The property ID is section number 7. The property ID, sometimes it calls it account file or a file number. They're not always going to be called, depending on the state register or the database that you're going through, or if you're going through the Bank of Canada, they reference it slightly different. But it would be an account number, account ID, file number, those kind of things, and it's usually listed at the beginning of the account that you found. So we would just take that, copy that number, and paste it into the outstanding balance, or type in that number there. The outstanding balance. My screen flipped here, or my section flipped here. I would put the property ID in section number 7. Section 8 is requiring me to type in the account, what type it is, if it's a savings, checking, dividend, trust, refund, etc. This one is the property type. It's telling me what it is. It says any other miscellaneous outstanding CKS. I don't know what that means. Okay, and you would take that and you would put that, copy and paste it, put it into section 8, or type it in if you prefer to do it that way. Now, just to cover something in case you might have a question on, what if it's not disclosed, the property type? Not disclosed, like for instance this one that we couldn't process anyway because it's only $131, not the required $250. we would put non-applicable in there, or just N/A would be fine. And that goes along for any of these sections. Where typically you might find a part where you might have to put non-applicable would be the account holder's name if it says applicable. Same thing here with the account holder's last name. If it's not provided, then you would just put what they have there, or non-applicable. Okay. Obviously, always the outstanding balance is there, the property ID is there. It just might come down to the type of account that may not be provided, and that's fine. Just usually put what they have in the box, or if you prefer, put non-applicable if it's not provided. Okay. And last but not least, the section that you would complete is the state of or the province that it was found, either at the Bank of Canada or at one of the state databases, that are state regulated controller databases that you found it from. In this case, it would be Texas. So I would just punch in Texas in section number 9. Once you've completed section number 9, all you do is click done. Okay, and that's it. That you've made now your submission. Whatever that outstanding balance is, you would get paid 10% of that amount, as long as it is over $250. And obviously, you're not making any submissions on forms because you don't have forms unless you've been approved on you haven't been approved because you wouldn't have received your forms. So if you haven't done that yet, obviously go back to the step before this one, or the previous step before this one, and make sure that you claim the form and get your forms to be able to complete them. Now, what happens, a couple more things before I let you go and start databasing and submitting your forms, is that that you should know, or you might have questions for. I'll try to cover them in this video. If I have something that I do not cover in here and you still have questions on, we are very helpful in helping you have success, because it helps us have more success. So if it's not answered in any one of these tutorial videos, up at the top we have an FAQ section. I strongly suggest you check there if you have a question that are not covered in these videos. And if it's still not answered in the FAQ, always check there first, then contact us, because you don't want to bog down the staff in the customer or the processor support team with things that could be figured out or found on these videos or in our FAQ section. But if all else fails, please contact us with the contact information at the header tab at the top of the website on this page, or at your main processing hub. Okay, so some things that you should be also aware of that I want to cover is that once you make a form submission, it will take a processing 1 to 3 business days to go through the accounts. At that time, then as long as we have received it before midnight on Friday at 11:59, I guess, p.m. Mountain Time on Fridays, that will count for the work week. So the acceptance and the payout schedule works from at 12:01 on Saturday. That's when the week starts for us. Okay, so if you get it in before that time, so Saturday at 12:01 to Friday at midnight, you would be paid within 2 weeks. You would be paid 2 weeks after that submission is made. Okay, just like any job, it takes us that long to process it. It's going to take 1 to 3 days. So if you're looking for, hey, did you receive it, and all that kind of things, sometimes the staff, because of the amount of forms that are coming in, it takes them that long to go through them and complete the process they need to do on our end before we could even answer that question. So it takes 1 to 3 days, but as long as it's submitted before Friday at midnight, you would be paid within 2 weeks of that submission. So on Wednesday, let's say this was a Wednesday, you submitted it, that is before the Friday, obviously, you would be paid 2 Fridays from the Friday coming up for you if it was Wednesday. Okay, hopefully I didn't confuse you there with all of that. But again, to get a written version of the pay schedule, make sure that you visit the FAQs if I did foul that up a little bit for you. Okay, I'm just trying to think of any other things that I may not have covered on the simple step here that you're on right now. I don't think I have. So I think that will conclude the video here. So if you haven't got your forms, if you haven't staked your claim or anything like that, obviously, and you're just going through the videos, because I always think it's a great idea to go through the process first, and then actually begin back at the start, so that you know what you're headed to, and you know what steps that you're going to be required when you get to the get paid stage in step number 4. Okay, so again, if you need claim forms, FAQs would have a link to be able to do that there, but you got to go back to step number 2, make your claim submissions. The company will get back to you. They will give you your submission forms, and then you can database the information on the accounts that you've already found. Okay, so I think that concludes everything that I can think of that our processors need to know in this step of completing your processing form and submitting it to us, and some things that would happen after that. If you are ready to go and you've made your submissions now, and once you do that, you would move on to step number 4, and that's how you get paid. Okay, so I'll see you over there as we go through the simple process of making sure that you set up registering your payment option with us, so that we know how to pay you by direct pay, or if you choose by PayPal, and as very few of our processors do, by company check mailed to you in the mail. Okay, thanks again for joining us here at UBATracers. I'm excited to see some of you guys get some big payouts soon, so get those submissions in, and we will see you at the next training tutorial video. If you have any questions or anything, check out the FAQs, and if all else fails, please use the contact tab at the header of this page or at the main UBATracers homepage. Okay, thanks again, and I'll see you over in step 4.